How do you deal with the lack of joy in life? It was baby steps until things snowballed. I'd try to find the joy in the little things. I had my favorite food for dinner. I saw a gorgeous flower on the walk to school. The weather was nice. I saw a funny meme. It became a bit easier to find joy in larger things and start planning for them from there. I like flowers. I'll go to the park and just spend some time photographing the most interesting blooms I can find. I like animals. Time to feed the pigeons. Or spend a day volunteering at the shelter. It got me out of this rut of self-loathing, and I started opening up more. I made friends. I joined a choir. I started learning Welsh. I bloomed. When you can start looking to the future and go, I've got something to look forward to, it'll be okay. When you can't see if it'll ever get any better, reach out. Even if it's to a stranger. You don't have to be alone. Think about the last thing that brought you joy. After the 30 seconds of joy that memory brings, decide that the happiness it provided is worth the effort to either recreate the same event or a comparable one. If it involved other people, call them and be honest. I've been really down for a while, and I was thinking about how awesome fun thing was, and wondered if you would be up for a trip down nostalgia lane. See it through. Don't set the bar of expectations too high, as it's easy to let nostalgia over amplify how awesome something was. During the recreation, focus on the moment, not what it was like the last time. Let yourself have a good time. Turn your filter off and be real and genuine with people, as long as it doesn't involve hurting their feelings. If you don't like someone, don't invite them. Realize afterwards that part of the fun is being yourself with people who care enough to show up in your time of need. Many of us walk around without recent joy in our lives. Happy and sad are not black and white concepts. There are degrees of these emotions, and sometimes you overlook the joy in smaller things. For me, a great cup of coffee with a moment of peace to think about weird ideas is a great sense of joy. Hope you find/recognize some semblance of joy soon, Redditor. Think about the last thing that brought you joy. This is one of the toughest things I've had to come to terms with. One of the most beautiful times in my life was right after I was out of high school and worked part-time. I had quite a few friends that were in similar positions, and, being in a small town, a lot of us hung out late at night after work, when everything was closed, during the summer, smoking weed and skateboarding. God, that was fun. Or we would just hang out, watch movies, get stoned, and try to get laid. 9900ths usually not. It was always exciting to see what the rest of the evening had in store for us. After some time, though, many of those friends lost control of their drug use, and it was time to move on. I moved away and chose a different path. As life went on over the next 10+ years, I've came to look back on that time like it was a high watermark. Yet, I find myself incredibly nostalgic and bummed out that it was also fleeting. God, I sound old and bitter. Have a messy room or area. Tidy something. Brains don't like clutter, and you'll be surprised at how stressed clutter can make you. I need to spend time near trees and water to feel whole. Living in a desert was rough. Now I'm close to a big river and all the trees. When I'm in a bad mental state, I head to the river for a mental boost. If I'm getting cabin fever, I hop on a train and leave for the day. Sometimes the walls of this town just close in. Prescription for antidepressant. Change the sheets and pillowcases on your bed. Slip under the covers and do snow angels under the covers. Rub your bare feet between the freshly laundered sheets. Load all the dishes into dishwasher and turn the dishwasher on. While the dishwasher is running, imagine how much cleaning and freshening they are being. Listen to the humming rhythm of the water jets. While you are there, wipe the counters, table, and all surfaces. Smell the scent and notice that the polished surfaces have a gleam and shine. Fold the blanket that's on the couch and set it next to the cushion. Go about your day. Then later. 5. Boil water and make your favorite tea. Pour the tea into your favorite mug, or maybe even that beautiful antique teacup in your china cabinet. If you don't have tea, it's time to finally to that cute little tea shop, or to the farmer's market. How fun. 6. With your cup of favorite tea, sit down next to the folded blanket that was lovingly folded. Spread out the blanket over yourself. Isn't that nice? 7. Sit and sip your tea. There's nothing wrong at that moment. You feel warm as the tea goes in your stomach. You breath. You notice that the room smells good, looks clean, and the stress of the day melts away. Wouldn't this be a perfect time to write in your journal, think about planning a weekend getaway, or read that book? Oh man, I've been there. That feeling sucks. My brief advice is find a way to be creative and or go find something that you can help someone else with. It seems strange, but having a purpose makes a huge difference. One thing I've done when I've felt that way is ask myself, if there were no limits or restrictions on me right now, what would I do? And then when I have an answer, find what would be a first step toward making that happen and do it. Also, as others have mentioned, do something physical. It doesn't have to be grueling. Just taking a walk outside is a good start. I started lifting weights, which would sound totally bizarre if you knew me, and it made a huge difference in my mood. Long story short, try things, find a purpose, something to work towards or a way to help other people, and move your body. Those two things alone will start to move you in a better direction. Also, find someone to talk to when you are feeling low. If you can, find someone to talk to in person. If you want, you can feel free to DM me. Now this may not be for everybody, but I'd still recommend it to people. If you're low on joy, become a fan of a sports team and become extremely invested in that team. It's one of the best feelings in the world. In my case, I became a Ravens fan after not watching football in my life. I sat down and watched a game. I had no clue what was going on, but I was so invested. Then once I learned the rules, after a while it became my life. Every year I can name all 53 players on the roster. Every win I feel like I had done something amazing, and I could move a mountain and smile the whole time. Now, when we lose I feel horrible. Sometimes I just lie there and I can't do anything, but finally winning after losing, it feels a million times better. Point basically what I'm saying is invest yourself in something. It doesn't need to be a sport, just something, and you can find joy in it if you love it enough. When I'm down, reading just lets me forget the world. I don't know, it makes things better long term, though. The times when I was watching my diet and exercising regularly were the times when my mood was best. I'm not sure of the causality, though. When I'm feeling down and hurting, I have arthritis, it's hard to motivate myself to exercise, and I tend to seek comfort in unhealthy food. Jogging definitely gave a mild high once I'm in good enough shape to jog about a mile. And I've found that weightlifting was incredibly satisfying. You've got short-term goals, long-term goals, quick bursts of effort with a satisfying sense of accomplishment. My wife certainly didn't mind the aesthetic benefits as well. Well, I think I'm better nowadays and I can say something. I just stopped caring about people's opinion about me. Self-acceptance is important. If I do something weird or have a weird hobby, that's alright. Be the leader. Don't be a follower, and try to find a leader. If you yourself are doubtful about doing it, people are going to judge, start talking shit about you, and the seed of doubt inside you starts growing. And you start hating yourself. Instead, be the leader. Others won't even bother to say anything, because they don't see a hole in your armor and just stop. Plus, people who are looking for a leader themselves will come to you, and you form a group with mutual interest and you love it yourself. Again, it's better to read than actually work, but it's better to do it one step at a time. I find that the reason for any given lack of joy in my life usually stems from anxiety. Anxiety and worry devour joy, because how can you be happy when there's something bad that needs addressing? Well, there is something bad that needs addressing: the anxiety. Statistically, 91% of anxieties are absolutely false. So I write down what gives me anxiety. Then I look back later to remind myself it didn't come true and that all my angsting didn't improve my life. And it doesn't work, because the things I'm anxious about came true, are coming true, and show no signs of slowing down, like the recurring and accelerating failure of my life's work and skin cancer dissolving my nose. Anxious people tend to think of their anxieties as a way to find problems and address them before they get too large, but the data doesn't really bear that out. Mostly it's useless worry that just gets in the way of living life. Smoke a lot of weed. I realize this isn't the greatest method of coping. I work a lot and am edging my way towards a better, more lucrative career that will hopefully give me more free time to explore other things I want to do, such as travel and write. but for the time I work a lot, don't get paid much, and have a fair amount of stresses weighing me down. So in my free time, if I don't have to study, I get high, so I can forget about the shit that's making me sad and better enjoy things like some dumb TV show. Apart from that, I try to exercise regularly and make time for friends, although success with both has been limited in the past few months. Looking at old photographs of a happy, careless, always smiling me. My dad died when I was little, my single mother was always busy working or studying, and my little sister was always getting on my nerves. But I was still the happiest, most imaginative child you ever saw. Pictures of me as a kid helped me put things into perspective and to focus more on other people instead of myself. Because I never want to see another kid go through what I did, because I became a pretty messed up adult. All I can do is try find things that make me happy and try to make others happy as well. Making the world better. That brings me joy.